Hey folks, so you probably just finished my series on how I make guns for Vic's Point Blank, and you're probably wondering, how do I make my gun support attachments? Well, this is the video. So we're working on a different gun model now. We're working on this sniper rifle. Very simple. Actually, not very simple, but you know what I mean. In Blockbench, we're gonna need to add between one and two different cubes to support attachments visually. We're going to need something called CB scope if you want to support sights or sniper scopes, or CB suppressor if you want to support suppressors. So what we're going to do in the model is under the gun, we're just going to add a cube. There we go. Got a cube. And we're going to group it. And we're going to name the bone underscore CB underscore suppressor. This will allow Point Blank to recognize that, hey, this is where a suppressor should go. And now we just position the bone. I highly recommend placing the cube inside, like fully inside the muzzle of your gun. Or inside the barrel, I mean. Because for some reason, the base mod's suppressors, they attach, like, far out, and potentially just float in front of the barrel. I hope this gets fixed, because otherwise it's just going to look weird on a lot of content packs. So yeah, I highly recommend just placing the cube inside the barrel of your gun. Don't worry if there's any Z fighting, because the cube will be invisible when you export it into Point Blank. We added a reference point for our suppressor to go. We'd just have to do the same if we wanted to have a scope. All we'd have to do is duplicate the cube and move it somewhere else, and if we wanted a scope, and we'd name it CB scope, or underscore CB underscore scope. And all you need to do is export your model. I'm pretty sure you'd know how by now. And there we go. Now we just need to go to our item.json to configure what attachments it'll support. Alright, so I'm here in the item.json of the gun that I was just modifying. And as you can see, I have compatible attachment groups already. This tells Point Blank what groups of attachments are allowed to be installed onto the gun. So, for example, I have this right here called Chimera. This is a custom group that I've made to allow certain mods of that group to be installed onto the gun. Now that I have a suppressor reference point, I would just have to hit comma and new line, and I would just say whatever the attachment group names that I wanted to add that relate to suppressors. So, for example, we'll do AR underscore suppressors. Oh, that's too many S's. There we go. This will allow the gun to accept the assault rifle suppressors from the base mod. So if we go into Minecraft, I'll demonstrate real quick. Alright, I'm loaded into my Minecraft world. I need to get the gun. Where is it? Right here. So, best way to check before we even open the attachments menu is if we press shift to see what attachments it supports. You'll see that it now supports AR LMG suppressors. So we're just going to copy that, and we're also going to go to Point Blank, and we're going to just grab some suppressors. So if we just slap on... There we go. So, our gun supports suppressors. That's a little goofy looking. We've implemented suppressors, but the thing is, we don't have a suppressed sound for our gun. So if I just take off the suppressor, if I fire it, that's what the gun sounds like without a suppressor. If we throw one on, it sounds the same. It doesn't have a suppressed sound just yet. So this is where we continue working on the item.json file to add the suppressed sound. So right here, I'm just gonna look for the sounds feature in the attachments document that is provided by the Vix Point Blank Discord. Ah, there we go. Alright, so the sound feature. Basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy this section right here. We're gonna copy this whole section here into our item.json. So if we go back into our text editor, you see I already have features, but we're going to add a new entry. So if you don't already have anything under features, or if you haven't created the features, you just do, in quotation marks, feature, semicolon, space, and then a square bracket. 2 square brackets, one for opening, one for closing, and then a comma after. And then inside the square brackets, you'd want to create 2 squiggly brackets. New line. We're going to go type, sound, comma, fire sound. And because I already have the suppressed sound listed in my packsounds.json file, I'm just going to put it in here. So I believe it's setsu fire underscore suppressed, comma, and I'm going to resort back to the document again. Fire sound volume 1. So fire sound volume, comma 1. Not comma. Whatever. And I believe now we get into, yes, conditions. So a lot of these features have conditions. I believe we need to do, okay, just a squiggly bracket. Now, depending on how you want to set up your conditions, if you want to have multiple conditions, you'd want to do comma, all of, semicolon, space, open square brackets, and then you'd put in your condition. So squiggly brackets, and let's just say does not have attachment group. Actually, wait, no. I believe the term would be, what is it? Has attachment group. Space AR underscore suppressors. That should work. I remember doing this before. Let's see if it works. Alright, we're back in Minecraft. Just waiting for the chunks to load. Alright, let's give it a shot. Alright, so the sound is working. We have a suppressor on, and the suppressed sound is playing. Bit uneventful for the sound after that sort of charging noise, but whatever. So that is how you implement attachment support for your guns. Adding scopes is very similar, so you just have the scope reference point on your gun. For the features, you'd have aiming, so like the default aiming until like a scope or sight gets equipped. But yeah, that just about covers adding attachment support. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one where we add our own attachment. Take care.